Welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing our retail management software made here in Meliora Business Solutions. Okay, and this is the main login screen for the retail management software. So I've just put in my username, password, and the access key, which determines your access level in the system, your system access level. And now we can go ahead and log into the application. Okay, and now we've logged on to the main homepage of the retail management software where we now have access to the modules. So we have the POS transaction, product master, expense management, etc. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to just go ahead and create a new user, and we are now going to use that user, which is going to have the access level for POS transactions. And we're now going to go ahead and sell to a customer after. So as I'm on the admin access level, let's go ahead and create this user. So we're going to go to user registration. Okay. And we are now going to go ahead and create the user ID. Let's call this user sample 0001. Let us set the password as sample user. Last name sample, first name user, and the country is going to be Nigeria. City, phone, and email, we can just leave that. We can also leave job roles and address. So the password here, we have the user table, which has the user key of all the users, the user ID, the password, last name, first name, and all that. And the passwords are currently visible now, simply because we're in a test environment. They will be hashed eventually. So now we're just going to create the sample user with this password here. With the last name sample, first name, and the country is going to be Nigeria. So all we want to do now is insert that user into the user table. And then when we've done that, it's a one record inserted successfully to let us know that the user has now been successfully inserted. And there they are, sample user. Okay, so now let's go ahead and log off, and we're just going to log back in again as this sample user so that you can see the difference. And when we log on as sample user, we are now going to initiate a sales transaction to a customer. Okay, and now here we are back in the login area after we finished logging out from admin level access. Now let's log in again as the user we just created with the password, and the access key this time is the access key for a POS operator. So we can now log in and then see how different the home page is going to look for this operator, and then we can now initiate making a sale to a customer. Okay, and when we log in as the POS operator, well, we can now see that some of the options on the homepage are now grayed out, including user registration. So, but we still have this one active, which is the POS transaction. So let's go ahead and initiate sales to a customer using this role. We can see operated by user sample on system one. That's just, if you remember, that's the user we created with admin, which we just logged in. So okay, let's make a sale to a customer. So I'll go ahead and click on the POS transaction button to launch. Okay, and here we are. This is our point of sales screen. So we can see up here the header information. So this is the till ID. So that's the name, the till clerk, which is the sample user we created. And we have promo codes and discounts, depending on the organization if you want to do various promos during periods of time, for example, a Black Friday sale. You can do that using the promotion module, which we'll look at later. And for now, we now have something here called the product SKU. So this is going to be the name of the product. When we are looking at the product master, we'll see that table. But for now, I already have one in the absence of the scanner, because normally you just use a scanner, I'd scan the barcode and put that there. And then all you do is click submit. And then that product will then be taken up by the system ready to sell to the customer. So um, let me just put in the SKU I already got, and I'm just going to click submit. And there we have the golden penny spaghetti 500 gram. And we can see the unit price is 950. The quantity the customer wants. Let's say the customer would like to buy about 4 packs of the spaghetti. And we can now go ahead and add items. Okay. And we can now see the checkout key code, the checkout date, the year, the month, all that. And the product SKU, there's no promotion code. So this is just the various information for a checkout item. And this is now the total price, which is, of course, the unit price times 4, which is what we saw before. Okay. And now we can now select the payment type of um, the customer. So either they are paying POS cash or they are using their phone transfer right directly into the bank account, which is very often in Nigeria. And then we can now go ahead and type in, let's say the person is paying via transfer, we can now go ahead and type in the amount paid, which is going to directly be the amount owed, which is 3,800. And then we can now click on payment. And then this is then going to launch the receipts because payment has been done correctly. And we can now see the receipts header here. Item purchased, quantity is equal to amount. So we have the golden penny spaghetti, 500. So it's 4 times 950, which is the unit amount. And then this is now the total amount. So this is now, if we scroll down, we can now see total amount purchased, which is 380, total amount paid, etc. So we can receipt to reprint. So this is if the customer comes back, because at the each receipt has a receipt ID. So you can now see you've earned a cumulative of 0 points after your purchases today. So this is you're going to see when we are going to go ahead and do customer registration about the point system, because if you see is it a registered customer, when we tick here we're going to see a new window which is going to happen after we go through customer registration. But currently this is how simple it is to scan the items here, submit, put in the quantity, and then you can now add items to the customer's carts and then total amount, and then you can now click amount paid and you can select the payment type the customer is using and then go ahead and click payment. Okay, and then now that we're done with that customer, we have gotten the receipt of the customer here. We can now go ahead and click on next customer, which clears every single thing that we just did. And we are now ready for the new customer to come in and make another, and then we now sell to them by scanning the products, adding the quantities, and then adding items here before we now select payment amount and click payment after selecting our payment type.